Hi, I'm Seb Grunke. I'm a game designer at Microsoft Studios in Seattle, working on State of Decay with the developer Undead Labs. So I'm going to give you a quick sort of 5-minute demo of State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition, which is coming to Xbox One and PC on April 28th. So the first thing to point out is that this package, the Year 1 Survival Edition, contains the base game and the 2 DLCs. So you get not only the narrative adventure of the base game, but you also get the breakdown mode, which is kind of a roguelike survival mode that goes on forever and gets harder over time. And you get the lifeline mode, which is a narrative-driven scenario centering on military action in a zombie-infested city called Danforth. So what you're seeing here is breakdown. And if you played the original game, you might have recognized the church home base at the beginning of this video. And what you won't recognize is this character. This is the new character who you'll get as a special bonus if you own the original State of Decay and you buy the Year 1 Survival Edition with the 33% discount that we're offering. So this is Gurabani. She's an American who was born in Punjab, and she comes equipped with 2 antique Indian swords and a suppressed World War II antique rifle. And the reason the rifle is cool is that that's the only suppressed rifle in State of Decay. And suppression is useful because zombies and zombie hordes in the game are attracted by sound. So being able to snipe with a suppressor is pretty awesome. Okay, so one of the things we've done for this edition of the game is to completely remaster the UI based on user feedback. So it's a very deep, complex game about long-term community survival, where you control a number of characters who kind of live together in a home base, and you can switch between those characters and level them up. You can assign tasks to them, build new facilities, and so on. So there's a lot of depth to the game, and we wanted to make that as accessible as possible for people to really understand how to play and how to survive in this world. So we put a lot of work into the UI. We're now going to jump in this car and head out, and we're going to try to find one of the Airdrop supply crates. So this is a new mission type that we added just for this edition of the game. Basically, the story is that some mysterious organization is airdropping supply crates into the game world, and these crates put out a strange signal that attracts nearby zombies and freaks. And they also contain some of the best weapons in the game. So when we did the Lifeline DLC, we added a lot of military hardware, and we've now folded that back into the 2 original game modes. And the way that you get some of that hardware, or the easiest way to get it in this mode, is to go and find one of these supply crates and loot it. So while we're driving around looking for that supply crate, I'm just going to talk about some of the work that's been done to kind of remaster the game for Xbox One. So the game is running in 1080p, and the draw distance has been pushed out significantly. So that looks cool, but it also has a gameplay impact in that you can now snipe zombies and freaks from further away. You can also kind of survey buildings, find good places to loot from further away. So that really does make a difference to how you play the game. We've also redone a ton of the animations for the game. That's a big change there, as well as adding some new cars like the SUV and some new livery textures and so on. One of the things that I really like about this game is that Undead Labs put a ton of work into building a kind of believable environment that you can see has existed before the zombie apocalypse. So all the buildings in the game can be entered and explored, and you can loot them, or build home bases in them, or meet other survivor NPCs who are kind of living in those buildings and trade with them. So there's really a lot to do, and there's also kind of a story behind a lot of the buildings in the world. So you'll find businesses that maybe went out of business before the apocalypse happened, or you'll find people who used to work in those businesses and their skills will be useful or not in surviving the apocalypse. So there's really a lot of fun to be had just from going around and seeing all the different signs and kind of environmental storytelling that Undead Labs have put into the world. And that's actually great in this edition because the signs are much more higher resolution and easier to read. So you really get a sense of Trumbull Valley as a place, and the same for Danforth City in the Lifeline expansion. So I think we're coming up on the supply crate now. So these have kind of a risk-reward mechanic, as I say, where the supply crate has some of the best loot in the game, but it also puts out a signal that attracts hordes of zombies and freaks. So I'm now going to have to try to use my car to clear out some of these guys before I loot that crate. And cars and zombies interact in interesting ways in State of Decay. So zombies will actually grab onto car doors and rip them off and try to rip you out. And you can use the car door to kill them as you drive past if you want. What you just saw there was an armored zombie, so he's one of the special zombie freaks in State of Decay. He comes with a body armor, which means that you can't kill him with conventional guns. You need to use melee weapons, or one of the new weapons we've added for this edition of the game, which is an Incendiary shotgun ammunition type. So that ammunition actually sets fire to zombies when you shoot them with that shotgun. So let's see if I can clear this out and successfully loot this crate. The interesting thing about demoing State of Decay is that it's very much a simulation-driven game, and it's different every time you play. And it's a different experience for different players, so I can never guarantee exactly what's going to happen in these demos. Alright, I think we got rid of most of them, so if I can just finish off this last guy using my antique sword, and I can loot this strange crate. Oh, one more. Let's see what happens here. I don't know if we're going to make it. One of the interesting mechanics in State of Decay is that we do have permadeath, so if I do die here, then I will carry on as a different member of my community, but I will never get this character or skills back. So there's the game doesn't end, but I do lose that character and the work I put into leveling them up. Oh, it looks like I'm not going to make it. I apologise, you're not going to see the loot inside the crate. You'll have to buy the game and check it out for yourself. But I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and thanks for watching.
Probably my favourite thing the Battlefield's done in a long time. So if you think headquarters, anything sort of where you have to capture a base, except now the base is a car, there are